Welcome back to the Pod Shed. I'm Holman, and as always, I'm keeping busy to keep the content flowing for you guys. This past week, I had a chance to drive the new Ram heavy-duty trucks, and I'll be sharing my experiences with you in an upcoming episode, probably next week. I'm in the middle of putting all sorts of miles on a 2025 Ram 2500 Laramie 4x4. This one's equipped with the Cummins 6.7 and the new 8-speed, and literally cannot wait to share my thoughts with you guys because there's a lot to talk about with this truck, and recently got back from the media drive where we were able to take several configurations of it with different payloads and whatnot over the Davis Dam grade in Arizona. So that was pretty cool. So that content's coming to you guys. However, for this episode, I'm going to focus on my time at the Mint 400, thanks to our friends over at BF Goodrich Tires, who invited me out. It was super awesome to be their VIP, and then that's on top of having media credentials. So I got one heck of an experience and had pretty much an all-access pass. So I have to hand it to the Martelli brothers. This is one of the best run racing events out there. I was so blown away with how it was set up, how approachable the drivers were, how accessible it was to families seeking out their favorite racers and products, the companies that were involved. Just everything about it was awesome. It was so old-school racing. I love it. And I think this is probably my first time at the Mint. I can't remember if long ago I had gone to one, but it's always been on my list for going to, and I just hadn't done it. And this opportunity came up, and I'm so glad that I went. I got plenty of interviews from the Mint, a lot of background, and just my overall experience. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. But first, we have to thank the companies that make the Truck Show Podcast possible. Truck Show Podcast is presented by Nissan, purveyor of mighty fine trucks and SUVs. Take, for example, the 25 Nissan Frontier, now sporting a freshened look as well as an updated interior with an available 12.3-inch center screen. Still powered by the standard 3.8-liter V6 with 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, and backed by Nissan's 9-speed automatic transmission, the Nissan Frontier S starts at just $32,050 and with a maximum towing capacity of 7,150 pounds, or an off-road package that includes Bilstein shocks, a rear locker, and full skid plates. The Frontier is a midsize truck that's meant for both work and play. Or take, for example, the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada that was designed with exceptional comfort in mind. This luxurious and capable body-on-frame SUV can go toe-to-toe with any of the competitors in its class. Just point your browser to nissanusa.com and find the perfect quality-built Nissan vehicle to fit your needs. AMSOIL started the synthetic category in 1972, and AMSOIL continues to innovate with a wide selection of synthetics that are formulated, blended, and packaged, you guessed it, right here in the United States. These specialized lubricants are engineered for what you drive and how you drive. AMSOIL's catalog includes truck and passenger car oils with formulations specific to high mileage, hybrid, diesel, and of course you can't ignore the industry-leading Signature series. With coverage for ATVs, UTVs, small engines, AMSOIL has your entire fleet covered, and by using AMSOIL's simple shop-by-vehicle tool online, selecting the right motor oil for your application is easy. And you can also order AMSOIL's Ultimate Oil Change Kits, which ensure you have everything you need for an oil change, and it comes right to your door in one box. Includes filter, gloves, funnel, and even a reminder sticker. AMSOIL offers the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Get yours today at AMSOIL.com. If you listen to the show, you have a truck. And if you have a truck, you need a Kershaw. Kershaw knives, that is. All Kershaw knives come with a limited lifetime warranty, and repair parts such as pocket clips, screws, springs are all available through the website. Kershaw knives include a lifetime sharpening, and the lineup has everything from EDC knives that can be used and abused for under $50 all the way up to high-end collectibles. Thanks to our generous partnership with Kershaw Knives, the Truck Show Podcast listener can get 40% off MSRP and free shipping over $50 by using the code 25TSP40 at checkout. It can be used more than once and even includes automatics. Support the Truck Show Podcast and get yourself a Kershaw knife today. And when it comes to amazing vehicle-based adventure content, how-tos, and great storytelling, only one brand is doing it right in the print magazine space, and that's OVR Outdoor Vehicle Recreation. OVR is about getting out there in our vehicles to explore and discover the world around us. Get complimentary access for a year to the digital library or a discount on your print subscription today at ovrmag.com. Use the promotional code Truck Show Podcast. The Truck Show Podcast survives off your reviews and sponsorships. Please help me to keep it free by leaving reviews and comments on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and by supporting our sponsors.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The truck show, the truck show, the truck show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Holman.
That's right, that's me, and it's another episode of the Truck Show podcast. Man, this was a great trip out to Vegas and Prim to view the Mint. Super rad. Where should I start? I guess I could start with day one. How about that? So day one with contingency tech inspections, it was right there in downtown Vegas, just beyond the Fremont Street Experience. And I've always loved the old school vibe of downtown Vegas. I haven't stayed down there since the Truckin' Nationals back in the early 2000s. If any of you guys are listening to the show, remember that, and what a show that was. I look back and I think of all the craziness that happened in Vegas for the Truckin' Nationals. Wow. This definitely brought back memories, even though it's a little different now than it was, 25 years ago or whatever it was, but it was still cool. I was happy to be back. I stayed at Circa, which I've never stayed at before, and it's pretty nice. Like I was stoked on the hotel. Super clean, rooms were great. Loved being downtown. It gave me just like great access right into everything that was going on. So kudos to Circa for a great experience there. So the Mint, which has been going on for decades, it really embodies the old school spirit of desert racing and the variety of classes, vehicles, racers. It was just awesome to be there to soak it all up. I highly recommend it to anyone who's never been. Get yourself out to the Mint. But here's some interviews. They'll walk through contingency and a few interviews with some friends I picked up along the way. I'm so stoked. I finally made it out to the Mint 400. And you guys can hear all the trucks running. I love that. The smell of hydrocarbons, the sound of horsepower. It's so great to see all the vehicles, all the youth ones, these little tiny carts, all the cool vintage stuff, and even the big trophy trucks and all the stuff that you would expect to be here. Got invited out by our friends at BF Goodrich Tire, so pretty awesome to come out, and I've already seen a ton of people that I know. Saw Emmy, saw Matt Martelli, he and his brother own the Mint 400, Blake Wilkie, on and on and on. Just everybody's out here, and it's so great. I'll see if I can grab some interviews, and this is a pretty epic day one of the Mint 400. All right, I'm standing here at the Mint 400. So, are you the owner?
Yes.
So Matt Martelli, the man behind the Mint 400, and how long has the Mint been going on for now?
Well, it started in 1968, actually on the street we're standing on. The Mint Hotel started as a publicity stunt, and they actually raced down the street, so cool history.
Yeah. When did you take over?
Now, 14 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
I just can't believe how much this has grown since I guess the current version was announced, and
Sure.
It seems like this is now becoming almost a rival or a follow-up to King of the Hammers, where everybody has to be here. It seems like these two events have kind of grown together and really complemented each other, and it's become a race for people who want to experience desert racing but maybe don't have the funds or the ability to go all the way down to Baja.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the approachable version of off-road racing, Hammers is awesome, Baja's awesome, but, you got to make a hell of a commitment to do either one, right? This is great because it's just outside of Vegas, or just inside of Vegas, and then the race course is just outside of Vegas.
Yeah. So you've got all the hotels and infrastructure.
Yeah, you got infrastructure. The race course is 30 minutes out of town. We have a beautiful VIP area and radical spectating that's all kind of graded out. So even if you want to go have the desert experience, we have that. Or if you want to have the more cushy VIP experience, we have that as well.
So what makes the Mint special, do you think? Is it the fact that it's kind of an everyman's, race, or is it?
Honestly, I think it's because of the lore, right? I think it's because this race is woven into the fabric of not just racing, but America, with Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing, and all the celebrities and and rock stars and so on who have raced it, you know, it's really a part of American folklore, you know, you know, it definitely is for off-road racing. I mean, this race is special to everybody. You know, they all want to come and race and do well at this race to you know, have their name involved in the history book. So I think it's just, you know, it's that combination of things.
It's funny, we're standing out here on the boulevard, and you know, there's all these vendors and vehicles, and you can see the race trucks are on their way to get you know, checked out by or contingency and all that stuff. But it's just the radical mix of things. I mean, there's that flat fender Jeep, all the way up to trophy trucks. I mean, there's just crazy vintage things. It's all these rad classes, and it's really kind of a party down here. I can't believe how many people that I've just run into that I wasn't even expecting to see, and it was like, hey, what are you doing here?
Well, I think that's an important part of our culture, is that we welcome everybody, right? And we don't care what vehicle you're racing. You're welcome to come race with us, whether it's a Mazda Miata or you know, an unlimited truck, right? And everything in between.
You're not going to let Emmy race again, are you?
She did surprisingly well, you know? So I think that that's part of the culture as well, and that's important, is like, you know, you can come race a Class 11 and have very similar experiences as to what the unlimited trucks are having.
So what are your challenges now? Obviously, with government permits, regulations, all the things for racing that we have to go through, insurance, just the way that it seems like some parts of society are evolving away from motorsports. With you wanting to continue this and all the thousands and thousands of people here today, the same thing, what does the future look like for the men, and what does it look like for you?
You know, the future's bright, you know, like, we have a really good relationship with the BLM. We have a really good relationship with Las Vegas. They love us. And we've been able to exponentially grow this. You know, we've got to pay for things, you know, just like any other business. And, you know, we go out of our way to do trash cleanups and show that we're good stewards of the desert. But, you know, there's always challenges. But, no, I think that, you know, the future's bright. We're going to do more races in more areas, and we're going to continue to expand the Mint.
So Emmy Hall just walked up after we just talked shit about her. So
you were talking shit about me?
Your ears must have been burning.
I know.
No, Matt said something really nice about that he'll even let Miatas race, and I said, you're not going to let Emmy race again, are you? And he said you did really well, and I'm like,
I won, thank you.
Okay.
I won both years.
Okay, finished by yourself.
No, listen. Here's the thing. They give you two gambler classes. There's no reason to have two gambler classes, and yet here we are. So I just picked the one that gave me a guaranteed W. A W is a W.
Right.
But I still, if you go back and look at the times, I still beat everybody else. So
hey,
suck it, Holman.
Your participation trophy is awesome.
Right.
You are the worst. And I hear you're giving the gamblers 2 laps this year.
Yeah. Yep. So they're on a little bit different course, so I think they'll survive.
So how many different courses are there, and what's the mileage?
So we have a bike course, 70 miles. We have a big vehicle course that's roughly 80 miles, and then another 70-mile course for the limited racers. So we're just trying to separate everybody so the faster cars can race fast, and then the cars that are a little bit slower don't have to be under the pressure of being chased down.
Awesome. So if somebody's listening and they want to find out more about the Mint, where should they go?
TheMint400.com. Everything's there. We're going to be live streaming for the next 2 days, Friday and Saturday. It's free on YouTube, and it should be awesome racing both days.
Right on, brother. Good to see you.
Likewise.
All right, so I'm walking along, and who do I see? Miss Teresa Contreras. What are you doing here at the Mint?
High octane hustle. I mean, we want to interview people. We want to find out what's going on at the Mint 400.
You guys have like a real booth. You even have like a table that has your logo on it and an Easy Up.
You know, I'm not going to lie.
Wicker chairs.
The Easy Up has had its better days, but the wind was a little crazy today. But yeah, the Mint 400, they brought us here to do some interviews with everyone, and we got some racers, podcast hosts, different people.
Right
you know,
on.
Everyone is here.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm just walking around.
I mean, you're here, Sean.
Well, thank you. You're here. I'm walking around, and it's like, oh, hi, friend. Oh, I know you.
Right.
I know you, right?
And I loved loved it. Blake Wilkie rocked right up and then shared what you guys are doing together.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, it was cool. And you know, it's like some people that you'd expect to be here, other people that maybe you weren't expecting to be here. It's always good to see your friends on a trip.
I totally agree. You know, but I feel like when you come to a place like this, I mean, this is our culture, right?
Yeah.
This is our off-road. This is like the mecca of what off-roading is.
And the
here.
Mint has become more and more important every year, it seems like. You know, it's one of those places where, one of those races that, you know, I was telling Matt, I feel like it's in parity with KOH in a way where they've kind of grown together, and that you have to be there, you have to be here.
Yeah.
And it seems like the people that are leaving KOH are like prepping because they have to be at the Mint. And I also feel like there's a lot of people who, you know, don't have a chance to race. This is the perfect race to get into racing and to experience. Or everybody is so approachable here. You know, it's so easy to walk through contingency right now and talk to the racers and get autographs, and people are signing, and it's just super chill. It's just a rad place to hang out.
I think this is like the epitome of what our off-road culture is. Like, contingency for the Mint is like, it's the place to be.
Yeah.
You literally have everyone from manufacturers to racers to all the important people in the aftermarket industry are here, and they're manning their booths, they're walking the show, and like you said,
it feels
everyone's approachable.
Yeah,
exactly. It really does. It really feels
there's not like
that.
a wall between. Like, you can walk right along these race cars as they're going to get inspected.
And then you see our other friends like Emmy Hall.
Oh my God, she's back!
Right.
Look at this cool T-shirt I just got.
Hyper Coast Spring.
Nice.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty good.
She's literally everywhere.
Literally.
I'm trying to be. This is my tap dance. Dude, I fucking tap danced so hard at dinner last night. It's not even funny.
Okay. I didn't know you could tap dance.
Well, I can. I know my time steps, but
yeah, we're talking, so you want to join in?
I'm so sorry.
No. Join on in.
Are you really
we
talking?
already like talking. No,
we're already doing a podcast interview. Why not join us?
Because I gotta go get the car. I can't. And I'm gonna be on your podcast.
Enjoy your new shirt
for the later for a later thing. So I don't want to like.
Are you coming?
Oh, we're just talking about the.
Are you coming back to the studio for that?
Yeah, I'll come back to the studio for that.
All right, you heard it here first. Emmy Hall, she'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
All right, I love you guys.
Love it.
Except for you.
Love you, Mina.
Bye.
Worst person I ever met. She literally is everywhere. Oh man. I will, if I could describe that gesture she just gave me.
Right?
Good thing this isn't a video podcast for the children.
Yeah, that was good. Our reaction was enough.
So I came out here with BF Goodrich, and so Andrew Festa is our contact over there, and he deals with the media and stuff, and he's been a great partner. And apparently he had emailed Emmy about something else. Said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be at the Mint. We have a couple of journalists. Sean Holm will be there." And she goes, "Worst person ever met," or something like that. "I'm sorry, you have to have Sean." I'm like, seriously? Now
This is my introduction.
Yeah.
Oh,
now we're
okay.
talking industry people.
I see. These are the kind of friends we are. Hold on.
Oh man. All right. Well, I mean, you have this perfect spot here, right on the corner.
It is really good, you know, because we knew with the tech and stuff, the racers would be coming right by. I'm not gonna lie, we were in a little bit further, and I requested
this is
us
solid.
to move. So
You get to see everybody
it was a pretty
here.
good spot. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep walking, see what I see, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Always good catching up with you, Sean.
So I'm walking around the Mint and run across my buddy Kevin Stearns over in the Baja Kits booth. And man, I haven't seen you in a while. We're overdue for our wheeling adventures. It's been a couple years.
It has been. Let me get this straight. You've been wheeling.
Yes.
Just not with me.
Okay, that's fair. But you've been racing without me, so.
That's true. That's true.
So talk me through Baja Kits here. You guys have some pretty awesome products sitting in the booth, and I want to know more about it.
Yeah, so, Fox Factory acquired Baja Kits from Grenthal last winter. And so we've been taking a lot of efforts to move forward with being the first mid to long travel suspension company that actually has stuff in stock.
Okay, that's kind of a big deal.
A lot of our competitors, Grenthal, Missoula, some of these other kits that beat Dirt King. That's what
Dirt
I'm thinking.
King, yep.
We all play in the same space, but what we're trying to attempt to do is to make sure that we have fully written directions, product in stock, product tested thoroughly, have good communications with our customers, customer service. These are all things that smaller companies don't have the horsepower to get behind that we do. So we're really excited that Fox, allowed us to buy Baja kits, and then we can kind of turn the direction around and make sure we're going the right direction with it, where sometimes it gets lost in the weeds.
Sure. Yeah. And Fox Factory's done a pretty good job of buying up some of the small to medium brands and really kind of elevating them, and BDS, JKS,
Method, we keep buying, but we're very strategic about what we buy. It's not just buying for whatever reason. Method's a great example. I mean, just one of the giants in the off-road beadlock world, right? So.
Of course, and if you're going to do, off-road suspension kits, why not have the wheels that have the right fitment that automatically go with those as well, right?
Yeah, correct. The back spacing and wheel width and the right application. We've got the bead grip for non-beadlock applications or street applications. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the truck we have here on display, which is the new body style Silverado GMC. 19 to current is our basically our Halo kit. So
what is this, a billet trailing arm setup with a coilover? I mean, this looks like trophy truck kind of stuff.
Exactly. So what we have going on here is basically the best 100% bolt-on suspension kit you can buy for a Silverado.
It's gorgeous. I mean, the quality and the pieces, the machining. It's just, you look at it and it almost doesn't look like it belongs on this truck. You have to look and go, what truck is attached to the suspension, right?
Right. You're going to get a fabricated lower front control arm with a billet upper. You're going to get a slapper style bump stop, hydraulic bump stop. And then the real star, the 3.0 internal bypass shocks with the DSCs and the recirculating coolers. So you're going to get those at all four corners, okay? The front end's also going to come with an RCV axle set, CVs and axle set to upgrade that, and some steering upgrades. And then the rear, like you had mentioned before, completely eliminates the leaf spring, and we go to a full billet 5-link in the rear. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
It's a 5-link. The rear stroking 18, the front stroking 14.
That's some serious wheel travel, especially with a good shock.
You throw a supercharger on one of these and you go hunt down raptors.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our goal. We wanted to give GM something to, there's been a lot of these, trucks out here that claim, being built for GM applications, but they just don't really cut the mustard when it comes down to it. This one did. This one got fully tuned in Placer City by Fox engineers. And it's basically the same kit that comes on the Fox factory truck, the real big boy expensive stuff. Well, this does not have live valve though.
What's funny though is you're looking at these brands, and with Fox Factory's investments, you're bringing out the ultimate potential that was there, but maybe never fully realized. And if the geometry is correct, sometimes it takes a really good shock tune to bring it all to life.
This truck was multiple years in R&D, 3 to be in fact, to be true, which is longer than any other project that we've ever taken on, because we wanted the geometry to be right. We wanted everything to be about as point on as you could get, and we have to give a lot of credit to Fox. Fox has the horsepower behind them and the status to have the engineering that nobody can really touch. So we've taken a big advantage of that with Baja kits, and it's a little bit slow moving. It's not an inexpensive kit. One last thing I'd like to point out about it is it comes with an optional Dana 60 rear axle, which matches the track width gain that you get of 6 inches, 3 per side.
So that you can basically have the same track front and rear.
Correct. And the added durability of a Dana 60 with a 10.5-inch ring gear.
Yep.
And then you also have a ARB selectable locker.
Awesome.
So,
Man, this thing is gorgeous. I'm guessing your response from people today has probably been pretty incredible.
It is. Anytime we can get it out in the public and actually get people to stop and engage with it, they realize this isn't necessarily I think it's a little overwhelming almost, but it's really important that we get the message out that you can bolt this on in your driveway.
It's amazing.
It's 100% bolt on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it and you would not think that by looking at it. looks fully engineered. The links and everything they're gorgeous. So congratulations! This is really exciting, and I'm definitely excited to see what you guys come out with next with the Fox investment behind it. I think Baja Kits, which is already a great name. It was kind of a niche player, but it was one of the highest quality setups you could buy. To have the backing from Fox now is pretty cool.
One of the things I like about Fox and all our brands, whether it's Baja Kits, BDS, or JKS, or Zone, we don't care about being first to market. We care about being right to market. Yeah. And that's something that I hope we don't lose track of. If it takes us a little bit longer to get the right stuff, that's what it takes.
All right, brother. Well, good to see you out here.
Good to see you too.
All right, well, I'm walking along and who I run into? My friend Ross Berlinga at TMI. So, what's up with the TMI booth here at the Mint?
Well, it's exciting to be here at the Mint. It's been quite a long time for me to be back over here, but excited that not only we can show off as what we are known for over the past 42 years with all of our Restomod stuff, but to bring something new to the industry with our suspension seat.
All right, so I know a little bit about these seats, and you guys put a lot of R&D into these. Let's talk about why these seats are special.
What's so neat about these seats is it's helicopter military-grade inspired webbing that we have below the base of the seat. And adding that with the elasticity in the straps, in addition to our dense molded foam, it has the perfect comfort that you're looking for in your ride.
So basically all-day comfort for the harshest terrains. Now with that helicopter-style webbing, explain that to me. What makes that special? Why is that different than other types of suspension seat webbing? Why do you guys think you have the answer to the all-day comfort and protection and basically less fatigue for the driver?
Sure. So we're looking at it from, like, say, a spring. So you're looking at the coil wraps of like a spring on a vehicle, in addition to these straps, having the multiple straps in their webbing. So depending on the way you're bouncing, the way you're going through the ruts and going through different things, you are now going to be able to have the right amount of comfort, but at the same time, the right amount of density so that you're secure. So having the guys over here from different race teams testing it out, they're like, oh, this is great, especially on my back. And that's exactly it. We're trying to take that G-shock out of your back. So we're not looking to add a ton of travel here. It's just enough to take that G-shock
just
right out
take that, soften that edge of that. Yeah. Let your suspension do the work, but whatever makes it into the interior, you guys are kind of trying to mellow that out from reaching the driver and passengers.
Yeah, so there's it's PepsiCo challenge, right? So there's other guys out there that have a different suspension seat, and that's fine. But we wanted to put some real tech into it, and what's really neat is to be able to show this, and it's something that's patent pending right now.
And what are these seats applications? What vehicles will you have for these? Is it going to be universal? Is it UTVs? Is it trucks? What are you looking at?
Right now, it's just for RZRs. But over the next couple months, we'll be opening this up to Can-Ams as well as other platforms such as trucks.
And a lot of people don't know this about TMI, but everything that you do is made in-house. Everything from your high-density molded foam to the stitching to welded steel frames, all of that. And I'm assuming these seats are just the same as that.
So it's all made in-house. We also have a factory in Rosarito, Mexico. But with this, the way it's set up and what we're excited about is by having it made in-house in our factories, that we're able to control the tolerances to make sure it's truly structurally sound. So the other guy's seats that we're actually analyzing is made out of 1/2-inch tubes, whereas ours is 1 inch. Mandrel bent. It's so much stronger.
Yeah, that's huge.
And seeing the guys have crashed, and we were just talking to another race team earlier that 1/2-inch tubing, it absolutely broke down during a rollover. And they reached out to that company, talking to them like, hey, what's going on? Like, oh, well, you got to just buy another seat. Like, okay, but no, there's a true issue there.
Yeah.
It's not made strong enough to handle this kind of abuse. I'm thankful that we stepped it up and we went up to that 1-inch Mandrel bent tubing to be able to withstand all of that pressure.
Well, it's pretty awesome that all of your stuff is made in-house, that you have that control over the quality. I think it's one of the things that make TMI special. And then for everybody listening, if you've got, this is cool for RZRs, but if you've got a hot rod or a Restomod, you guys have full line of universal and vehicle-specific seats and an unbelievable palette of materials, colors, stitching to match anything in your ride, right?
That's it. It was neat to see the guys from like Ford Performance stop by. They're checking out, hey, what Bronco stuff do you have? And well, first gen. And like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. And they're checking all that stuff out. So yeah, it's neat to be able to have that cross-pollination of what we do from the rest of mod side and be able to show people that, we may be new in this segment of the industry, but we're not new.
But you're not new.
That's it.
Right on. Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother.
Day 2 was a pretty busy day, so we eventually wound our way out at Primm, Nevada, behind Buffalo Bill's Casino. And that's right there at State Line, if you're familiar with driving from LA to Vegas or back. And they had a great vendor midway, a VIP area, and then plenty of opportunities to see the action up front. So the course starts in front of you and kind of goes through there a few times. There's a few passes depending on what the race was. So plenty of chances to see some action. And it's great because when they started from the finish line, and there's big, fire that blows out of the start-stop line. And when they finish, same thing. It was so much fun. Side-by-side racing, not side-by-side like the car, like the little, carts, but like trophy trucks side-by-side. All that kind of stuff. It was so cool to see, an absolute blast. However, prior to going to the race, we had a chance to meet with Antoine from BFG's subsidiary, Active Air, and they're building an aftermarket kit in conjunction with a bunch of big names you've heard of in the aftermarket that would allow you to add CTIS, or Central Tire Inflation System, to a Jeep or Bronco. So CTIS, of course, was made famous on the military Humvees, and it's a way of airing up and down while on the move. And I've seen a few different implementations, but it never successfully translated into the aftermarket because of all the parts that were needed, until perhaps now. So here's an interview with Antonio Georges from Active Air. You'll hear me in the Bronco starting out, and then you'll hear us outside the car. Unfortunately, right when we did the interview, the wind picked up like crazy. So I'm going to apologize for the audio quality for the wind, but I still think it's really important to get across. And I think it was a really great product. It worked well. It was very interesting to see how the different pieces came together. Just very, very intuitive and really smartly laid out. And of course, when you have the quality of manufacturers working with you, even better. And one of the things I have to say about this particular kit is, if you're already going to do axles and onboard air and wheels and tires, that would be the right time to do this. You probably don't want to do it if you just have a stock vehicle and you're like, I want to add CTIS. It really is a package for somebody that's doing that full upgrade. So anyway, I'll let the interviews speak for themselves. All right, so we're driving along in BFG's Active Air equipped Bronco. So you might hear some pressure noises here and there from the compressor, but this is a modern take on the traditional CTIS system, but made for the consumer level. So we're out test driving it, and basically allows you to inflate and deflate your tires on the move, which is super cool. Over the years, I've been on several different programs where people have talked about it, but I've never seen it come this far to being implemented as holistically as it is on this vehicle. So we're going to have an interview, a little behind the scenes, but this is pretty cool. All right, so now you can hear the tires deflating, and then that's the compressor that's balancing out the tire pressure. So it's smart enough as you're driving where it gets you down to a certain spot, but then it'll repressurize if it goes a little bit too low. It kind of balances out as the vehicle's moving.
So you can switch, and even if in the worst case scenario, you're racing.
All automatically. All right, who am I standing with, and where are we?
So my name is Antoine. I am a field engineer for BF Goodrich, and we are here in Lava Views near Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, and I just got a chance to drive in your awesome Active Air equipped Bronco. And so CTIS has been a thing for a long time, mostly in military vehicles. And there's been attempts over the years for people to commercialize CTIS, but it's a complicated process. Essentially what it is Central Tire Inflation System. And it's the ability to air up and air down your tires on the fly.
So we've been working with top builders, with top industrial off-road to make sure that we can have a package able to fit any kind of vehicle, from the Jeeps to the Broncos and more. It started with Teleflow, a French company, subsidiary of BF Goodrich, And we use all the vehicle strength and network to make all of these partnerships and have all of these parts available on the vehicle. So we are working with Dynatrack for the Jeeps. We are working with 74-weld portals for the Broncos and all the Jeeps to make sure that all the user can have a central tire inflation system in any kind of vehicle. And the name of all of this package is ActiveAir.
So ActiveAir is a commercial version of CTIS that's available currently for Wrangler. Will be available for Bronco soon, and it's a perfect. If you think of it as just an add-on, you're missing the point. I think the better way to think of it is if you're going to be upgrading your vehicle suspension, axles, potentially think about portals. All of that, this is the perfect option to add on at that same time because you're going to be touching all those different components. And this would allow you to say, hey, I'm already thinking about taking my build in that direction. There's an easy way through a package to add CTIS via ActiveAir to my Bronco or to my Wrangler.
So if you want to build what you said exactly, if you want to build your Jeep, you can go through Dynatrack, buy the axle, and they have a CTIS option. So basically with the axle, then you can buy the CTIS and boom, you have it on your car. Same for 74-weld. All of the new Portals 2025 will be compatible with ActiveAir. So then if you want to have the ActiveAir on your truck, on your rig, you have to ask Quinn from 74L and you'll have the package and you'll be able to use it. Basically, so the package looks like, so you have a valve from Teleflow, a manifold and a screen from Teleflow. Then you need to have a compatible axle, 74L or Dynatrack, and then you need to have a compatible wheel, a CTIS wheel. So far we have Run Flat International for the Jeeps and we have Vision wheels providing CTIS compatible wheel.
And so what happens is that the air compressor fills up the manifold. It's controlled by the Teleflow controller. It's your push to connect style, high heat, flexible airlines, and those get routed. And then through the axle or the portal box, there's a pathway for each, and then the wheel and the interface between the wheel and the axle is where the magic happens, and that allows the airflow. There's a specific mechanism that allows for the air to pass through, and then in the case of this Bronco with Vision wheels, you board out one of the spokes to put a pathway into the wheel, and there's a valve that sits on the wheel spoke face that basically controls releases or allows air into the tire.
Exactly. So the sealing to create the airflow from the static part of the vehicle to the rotation part is made within the hub, so within the 74L or within the Dynatrack axle. And then, as you said, the wheels are drilled to make sure that first we can bolt the Teleflow valves on it, and second one, we can drive the air through the hub to the tire. And if you look at the valves, so bolted on each wheel, this is only a mechanical system, no electronics in it, and this valve is closed when the system is not used. That means you can just remove the tire, like look at the spare tire,
Sure.
There's pressure in it, the valve is in it, and pressure remains in it.
It also means that the fail-safe is closed.
Exactly, so if something gets wrong on the trail, like you break a line for XYZ reason, you will have a warning popped up on the screen, what we experienced today.
Sure.
But the pressure will remain inside the tire.
So I should say we experienced that because we pulled the line.
Exactly.
So that, not because anything happened on the trail, but you wanted to show me how the screen would respond to a user error. And as you're driving, you have the ability to force the system to do a pressure check, which it will go one tire at a time, and it'll inflate a pound or two, measure it, and then release. And it kind of goes in sequence around the vehicle. Or you can hear over time the vehicle will kind of self-regulate as well as you're out on the trail. So I'll tell you, one of the weird things was we were driving and I went to deflate to the next lowest setting. So you basically have 4 settings on there. One is highway and low is like rock crawling, and you can kind of you can set the PSI for each one, and they've got little icons that you can set. But even though I knew that it was going to release the air, I turned the corner and I was like, oh man, do I have a flat tire? But no, I just did that. It's so weird to get used to hearing, the wanton release of air while you're driving. It takes a little bit of getting used to.
That's right, and that's inconvenient. Basically, like when you're leaving the road for your dirt way or your mud way, you don't have to get out of the car, you just have to press the button. And even if you are with some friends, hanging out with some friends on the dirt, you don't have to use an external compressor and to do the stuff to clean your wheel because they're all muddy to inflate them back. No, just press on the button and hang out with your friends if they have to do it.
The nice thing too is we were driving, obviously we're coming up to the end of the trail, and it was like, okay, great, I'm going to start inflating. So I knew that the route out was a nice graded road and I wasn't going to need to be at low tire pressure. So as we were driving before we got to the trailhead, we were already aired up, ready to go for the rest of the way home on the pavement. And of course, the company recommends this as off-road use only, but there's no technical reason why you couldn't otherwise if you're listening, wink, wink, but it's an off-road system. And it works really well, and to have that convenience of being able to regulate your tire pressure on the fly is pretty great.
Exactly. Don't stop your adventure, just use Activair and use all the power you have on your vehicle, all the transmission, everything you've built to enjoy the trail, and just make sure that you can transfer it to the ground with the good tire and the good pressure in it.
The good tires being BFGs, of course.
Of course, the footage. You can go from KO3, KM3, just based on what you like. And if you're more a road guy or more a dirt guy, mud guy, they have all the range fight.
That's right.
We have all the range fight.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you giving me a ride in the Bronco, letting me drive it and test out the system.
Thanks, Sean.
All right.
Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
And here's a little ASMR from yours truly, just on the side of the course, just so you can enjoy what it was like sitting there in the VIP area for a little bit.
All right, everybody, I'm here at the VIP section on the side of the Mint 400 course, and wanted to give you a little Mint 400 ASMR as the Unlimited trucks are going by during qualifying. Hear the engines, hear the helicopters, hear the crowd, hear them jumping, landing, the cheers. A little Mint 400 ASMR for you. Enjoy.
All right, so after we hung out in the VIP area, we watched some of the qualifying. The awesomeness continued as I had a chance to get into Jason Coleman's Spec Trophy truck, and it was so rad. So I've got he gave me a 5-minute e-ticket ride. He asked me if I'd ever been a trophy truck before. I said yes with Ryan Arciero, and he's like, so don't hold back. I'm like, no, don't hold back. And I get in, and I'm like, I'm ready to party. Let's go.
All right, ready to party.
He gave me full balls out. It was awesome. So it's about 5 minutes. So we'll put that at the end of the show if you want to hear it. There's no voices at all. It's literally just driving in the truck and listening to it for 5 minutes. So hopefully you'll appreciate it. I was smart this time because I had my remote microphones and I put one in my pocket of my race suit so it was out of the windstream. So I held the phone and the camera up. So I'm going to post the video. There's a 2-minute version of it right now on Instagram. I'm going to try and do the full version of that, maybe on our YouTube page in the next week or so. But if you want to just hear it, I'll put that at the end for people that just enjoy the auditory delight that is a spec truck chewing through terrain. And you'll be able to hear when we jump and land, and it's very cool. So, and of course, listening will be optional, but I'm telling you, you'll be bummed if you don't. So day 3 was Saturday, and that was the big race day. And what a race it was. Massive attrition in the field. I want to say it was over 50%. I mean, there were cars just left and right. Some that had high hopes, some that looked good early on. Much of the race was led by Ryan Arciero. And as much winning as Ryan has done, like, for example, 3-time Baja 1000 champ, the guy knows how to drive, right? Amazing equipment, amazing skills. The Mint 400 has remained elusive. And he was ready to win this year. I mean, I've never seen a guy so laser-focused and pumped. And he was taken out of the race by a rear axle shaft, which is actually really rare on the trophy trucks to break. So something really weird happened there. And unfortunately, he was out. And so poor Ryan, man, he just keeps chasing the Mint. And he's going to come back with a vengeance next year. But the winner was, I think, the only spec or TT truck that was left in the field. I guess spec or unlimited is what they call it, Mint. And that was Adam Householder, who lost his hood early on and did a lot of the race with no hood. He passed Arciero when Ryan had some issues and then maintained a solid race all the way to the end. He actually won last year. The guy just ran an amazing race and super pumped for him. He deserved it. But before the race started, I was able to get some interviews. You'll hear from Ryan Arciero, Jason Coleman, who gave me my ride, old friend Josh Hall, Tim Demetrio from GM, because GM had quite a few trucks out there with the Halls, and then including the EV. So you'll hear from him. We'll talk about that a little bit. And let's get into those interviews.
Thank you.
Here with my friend Ryan Arciero. I just wanted to say good luck, and how you feeling today?
John, I feel good. I mean, 2025 Mint 400. I got to get the monkey off my back this year. We've been in the position to win this race for the last 4 years, and this year is going to be our year. Clean slate. The truck's fantastic. It was good in qualifying. A top 4 I'll take. The wind's blowing. It's a beautiful day out here in the Nevada desert.
Amazing.
This course is going to be rough. It always is. It's starting out rough, and it's going to finish even rougher. So putting 4 consistent laps together, let's go win this thing.
Yeah, but you love rough courses. Let's be honest.
I do. I like.
You're a manimal when it comes to a rough course. That's kind of your that's your thing. That's your jam.
Man versus machine, man.
Yeah.
You got to suck it up when the time calls for it, and it's the truck will take a lot more than me, but you got to dig deep and start sucking it up, especially lap 4.
All right. Well, I'm out here cheering you on, and I'm wishing you good luck, my friend.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good to see you, buddy. All right, so I'm with truck 292 with Jason Coleman, and so Jason, yesterday you gave me the best e-ticket trophy truck ride, unlimited truck ride out here at the Mint. I'd gone with a mutual friend, Ryan Arciero. Was my first time at a test and tune, but I hadn't ever been on a tight track with jumps and all that. First thing you said when I got in the truck yesterday is, have you ever done this before? And I said, yes. You said, no holding back? I said, no holding back. And who'd you go with? I said, Ryan Arciero. And you said, okay. And you went, we motored.
It's rad. It's really cool to share this experience with everyone out here and to get you in the truck and to see the unlimited power with Ryan and then just what this thing does with the spec. I mean, we're not too far off their pace. You keep it wooded to the floor and it's rad, and the tires grip it and we freaking rip it.
I mean, basically the only difference is drivetrain, right? It's the chassis are the same, travel, all that stuff. I mean, these trucks are absolutely incredible. Being able to be on a race course with tight turns, I was all chewed up at the end of the day. Dude, you didn't hold back at all, and I appreciate that. It's hard to give randos rides in your truck, especially when you got to race it the next day, but I appreciate it. I think we hit like 102, 103 on the back straight. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I just love hucking it. It's fun. I don't get out and we don't jump like this normally, and to go straight up in the air, it feels like we're in there forever. It's fun, and so it's rad that you loved it, and I'm stoked that you were ready to send it.
All right, well, I'm going to be cheering you on today because now you're only my second unlimited spec truck guy to ever get into a truck like that. So I'm going to be cheering you on. Good luck today. How are you feeling about the course? Because you saw yesterday was super gnarly and chewed up. I'm guessing they didn't exactly go and blade it overnight, right?
No, it's definitely not smooth. I know there's a couple other races that did some of the sections that we were doing recently, so it's really square and gnarly, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of what everyone thinks. We all kind of keep our strategies to ourselves, but how this pace shakes out, it's going to be hard to push in some sections because it's just so big. But, someone might send it and get through, or it ain't going to work out for them, but, we're going to put a lot of faith in our BFGs today and see what happens.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now they're all gone. All right, so we're walking around all the unlimited trucks here at the Mint 400, and who do I walk into? My old friend Josh Hall. What's up?
My man. Glad to see you here.
So, are you racing at all this week?
Yeah, we're going to do a couple laps here.
I saw you guys brought like 400 trucks.
It's what it looks like, too. And one of them was electric.
I saw that. And you guys completed it yesterday. One lap, 78 miles.
Yep.
Started with a 100% charge. Ended up with 40% by the end of the race.
Dude, you got all the intel.
Yeah, and no issues, right? I mean, it just... Amazing.
Yep.
And that truck had, 400 miles on it of dirt before you guys brought it out. It was finished a couple weeks ago.
Was it that many?
That Tim guy maybe had told me something here or there.
Oh, okay.
So this course, super chewed up.
Yeah.
And really gnarly.
Yeah.
How you feeling about it?
Love it.
I know you like that stuff.
That's what we do best.
Yeah.
Qualifying is not what we do best because that's fast, but the course is rough. Yeah, we're gonna, go out and have some fun and see what happens.
Which truck are you in today?
So we're in the four-wheel drive, the only four-wheel drive spec truck there is. Grandfathered in 20 some odd years ago, 18 years ago, something like that.
And I remember when you and I raced back in the mid 2000s. We were in your old Hummers, first the yellow one and the LT gray, the orange one, and you were one of the only racers out there who believed in four-wheel drive, and you wanted to make sure that you guys built a spec truck that had four-wheel drive, and you did it.
So it's a Silverado, and this is its 15th year, and every year four-wheel drive was very complex and complicated. 15 years ago, nobody was doing it. And so it took us a few years to kind of figure it out and make axles live, and then differentials live, and then drive lines live, and then transfer cases live. And so I think we're to the point now where that's probably not going to be, our four-wheel drive system will probably not be the problem for finishing. Who knows what the problem might be, but we're going to go out and run as hard as we can without hurting the truck and see where we shake out.
So good to see you out here. I haven't seen you on a race course in a while.
Yeah, well, it's been a year.
It's been a year, yeah.
Actually, no. We did a legacy race with the race up to Ely.
Okay.
The legacy race was last year. That would be my last race.
Okay, right on. So, I was just telling some of our BFG friends some of our past racing history and all that stuff. So one of my favorites out here, and I'll be there cheering you on. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, brother.
Have fun.
Wait a minute. Tim Demetrio from General Motors next to the Hall race trucks on the side of the Mint 400 race course? What?
Never.
Wait, I saw you at KOH, basically the same setting. So, let's see, last time you came on the show, we were talking about the heavy duties, because it was the heavy duty redesign. I think we were in, Montana or something like that.
Yeah.
And now I've seen you quite a bit out racing, doing a lot of different things. You guys brought the EV Silverado out here.
Yep.
Or what I think you guys should have called the Evalanche.
The Avalanche.
And so what's your role? Are you doing the same thing? Is this fun? Is this part of work?
Still part of work, so
Lucky guy.
It's awesome. Still managing all the off-road performance stuff.
Okay.
So it's really cool to, we come here to race to prove what we build. That's always kind of been the story, and more so the more we're pushing our trucks. So.
How many trucks do you guys have here at the Mint?
So we have the 3 stock factory trucks and Chad's spec trophy truck.
All right. So that would be the Colorado ZR2, the Silverado 1500 ZR2, and then the EV Silverado, which finished yesterday.
Yes, it did.
So I know that the only concern you had was that there weren't a lot of shakedown miles, but you weren't concerned about battery, you weren't concerned about durability, and it proved you right.
I was concerned about a lot of things that we hadn't even had a chance to test yet, but that's, again, why we come out here. This is a ultimate proving grounds. Real quick way to learn what's not up to par.
So that has 98% of parts commonality with the production truck, and I recently had a Hummer EV, so the Ultium platform off-road. For being a skateboard, I was always a little bit suspect, and it is phenomenal off-road. But I took in a lot of slow stuff. I didn't do a lot of fast. I did do a little higher speed, and I was amazed that I'm not a big air suspension fan. And the air suspension works incredibly well on the Hummer at faster speeds. So to see an 1100 horsepower EV truck, you've got the wheelbase on that one, you've got the power on that one, you've got all-wheel drive on that one. But to see the all independent...
That one is a coil truck.
It is a coil truck. Is that Multimatics on that one?
So Multimatic ASV on that one, so adaptive spool valve.
Which I love. Those are amazing shocks.
All the DSSV stuff that we normally do. Now I don't have to make that trade-off between on-road and off-road.
Perfect.
With the adaptive suspension, you can flip on the fly. We can, put it in off-road mode. We can cal specifically for performance on dirt. It's really cool.
So having the Ultium with fully independent suspension to be able to go out there and, this is a rough course.
Yes.
And everything survived, arms survived, mounts, all that. It's pretty
Production
awesome.
Arms.
What does that thing weigh? It's got to be an 8,000-pound race truck, right?
It's right under 10,000.
Holy.
and probably over 10 when you put people in it.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is there anything new on the Colorado lately? Or the Silverado? I mean, those have been really reliable trucks. It seems like you guys haven't had to do a whole lot with them in the past couple racing seasons, and they always seem to be finishing or winning races.
Yeah, so that platform, again, we're proving out the 0 to the stock truck. The mantra with those has been truly race what we sell, and it's a great validation of what the truck's capable of and its performance. And now we got some others showing up in class. It's now pushing them. Okay, what can we do next? What can we develop for the trucks further?
It's great to see so many manufacturers jumping into the stock classes here.
Yes.
And finally racing, because it was sort of you guys alone for a while.
Yep. Yeah. So now that there's some heat, it's on to race what we sell, and now what can we do next? So it's really cool.
So what's next for the EV Silverado?
We're still talking through that. Honestly,
what would you like to see? I guess if somebody said, "Hey, Tim, best case scenario, this is the next steps. Where we want to take that? Where would that be?"
So I think Cal 300 is realistically the next race we'll see that in. Again, we were very unsure how it was going to do, and with how good it did out here at the Vinda, I think we got a good plan in place to make Cal 300 work and do what we can do there.
Have you convinced Chad yet?
Chad, when we first sold the idea to Chad, he's like, whatever, you pay me to drive whatever. But no, he hopping out of it the first time, he's like, it's fast.
Yeah.
And, we've come to realize what EVs do on pavement and their wicked acceleration. But this is the first time we've had a truck with a truly desert capable rip across the desert at speed suspension underneath it. And when you do that combined with the horsepower and the instant torque, it's like, oh shit, this is a new level of awesome just in the dirt.
So the Trail Boss version of the Silverado EV is coming out soon. It was something that was announced at launch, but it was late availability basically. So now we're at the point where that's coming out. Does that also use Multimatics, or does that have the air?
We haven't said what it has yet.
Oh, okay. Because there were pictures, but
yeah.
All right,
we haven't said. We'll come out with details on that.
Okay.
But
all right, can't wait. Thanks for taking the time. Good luck today,
man.
I'll be cheering you guys on from the side.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So there you go, a little Mint coverage for you. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting it together for you. It was a great experience. And again, if you haven't been out to the Mint, highly recommend you go out and do that. It's family friendly, super great experience. Really enjoyed my time there. So it's been a while. Why don't we check in on the 5-star hotline?
Oh, come on and be part of the show. Call the 5-star hotline. 657-205-6105. It's the 5-star hotline. 5-star hotline.
Hey, Holman. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Had to get that out of the way first. I hope you can hear me. I'm driving a 98 Chevy, and I've been catching up on podcasts. But I was just listening to one of the news episodes, and you were talking about how they had this 220,000-mile Toyota Tundra. And I'm a pretty big Toyota fan. My grandpa's had Toyotas for the last 3 vehicles that he's owned. His Tacoma was a 15 with the 4.0, and he put on 349,000 miles and took it to a dealer and traded in for something a little bit lower before he retired. And he only ever changed fluid. He never had a major issue. It survived 3 deer. So I've just always loved Toyotas. Recently, my wife and I have been looking for a Toyota Sequoia from 08 to 20. And you can consider my flabbergasted when I realized that people were selling 350,000-mile Toyota Sequoias for $10,000 to $15,000. I mean, you can't hardly find anything under $12,000 to $14,000 with less than 200,000 miles on the old body style of Sequoia. Which, I mean, Toyota's really reliable, but they're slow to update, and even the 2020s, they were still pretty far behind on their tech. And I've been looking and looking. We were going to go with the Highlander instead, but it doesn't surprise me one bit that they were still trying to sell that Tundra for quite a bit. It is hard to find a good deal on a Tundra, Sequoia, honestly anything Toyota is up there in price. But I also had some questions for you. I've been driving my K1500 here for probably the last 2 or 3 months, just through the winter. And I finally did the math on my fuel economy. Now it's a 350, got a 373 and a 4L Slippy. And I've been getting about 10 miles to a gallon. And I wondered if you had any tips. I don't drive it real aggressive, and everything is highway. So I'm getting 10 mpg highway. I don't even want to do the math for city. I figured replacing the O2 sensors that are most likely original wouldn't hurt, but I wondered if you had any other tips, or if I'm just kind of stuck. I'm usually not one to complain about gas mileage, but
All right, so Calvin got cut off, and then he called back, but it was a different topic. So I'll save his next voicemail for the next episode. But 350, 373s, I don't think you said what tire size you had on it or mileage. With automatic, I would expect it to get a lot better than 10. I would start with a basic tune-up. Yeah, O2 sensors, and get your air filter swapped out, plugs, wires, all that stuff. And I'd be curious if you did all that, fluids, just go through for a good old-fashioned tune-up, where that would put you, because I know the 373s will make that 4-speed spin a little bit higher. Obviously, it's made for a little bit more towing and whatnot, but 10 sounds low. I remember my grandma and grandpa had a 2-wheel drive 454 fuel-injected 89 Suburban, and that thing got 9.5, 10, towing or untowing, highway or city. It didn't care all the time. I've never been in a vehicle that was as consistent with fuel use as that thing. But that was a great truck, and that was a 454. So I can't imagine that your 350 should be that low. Most of the people I know with 350s and small blocks, they do pretty good on fuel economy, even the older trucks. So if anybody else has some input and wants to help Calvin out, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com.
What's up, Holman? Love this last episode that you dropped here with Lightning making a quick comeback. Lightning, if you're out there listening, we do miss you. We still love the podcast with just Holman, but
I will say that he does listen regularly, because he will send me messages critiquing me and what I should have done better. So he's out there.
do miss the banter that you guys have there. It's always a good time. But anyway, I was more calling in because maybe I missed it when I was driving listening to this podcast, but you're talking about the Ram Charger. And I didn't hear, is there going to be auxiliary inputs for being able to hook up like power tools and whatnot? Like I know Ford's got some of that stuff with the Lightning where you can run your charged batteries and whatnot. I just feel like that would be kind of nice to have that, know you're not going to accidentally run the whole truck out of electricity at a job site, or like be able to power your house if, let's say the grid goes down and you can use that as a backup generator, and literally drive your generator to the store to refill it up. Anyway, I didn't hear any of that. I just seen if you knew any of that information, if that's been announced yet or not. But anyway, keep up the good work, Holman, and 5 stars.
Awesome. Yes. In fact, and I can't believe I didn't talk about that, it's going to have two-way charging. So you'll be able to charge the vehicle, but you'll also be able to charge other vehicles or export power to your house in a storm. And yeah, the RAM is going to make it a incredibly flexible tool, and it'll be able to act as a generator. I feel like they really have you covered, and they thought about a lot of different bases for this truck. So I'm excited about it, mostly because it's going to be the first range extender on the market, and just all the thought that went into it. I mean, we're still learning stuff all the time. Like little things are coming out. So if you guys have other questions, call the 5-star hotline, 657-205-6105, or shoot me an email, and I can get the answers for that stuff. Because like I said, there's still a trickle of info coming out, and the truck is so complicated. It's not as simple as just, here's your press release. I mean, there's going to be stuff that comes out over time where we're going to be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. But yes, it will be able to export power, whether it's power tools, act as a generator for your house, all that kind of stuff, power another EV or recharge another EV, I should say. So that's going to be pretty cool. All right, thanks guys for calling on the 5-star hotline, and let's check into some reviews on Spotify. A couple of left here. One was from Joey Rubalcaba, and this was on episode 11 with Matt Graves. He left a comment, said, "You may have already said what happened to the other guy, but I must have missed it." So I replied, "Died in a fiery bollard mishap." So for those of you who know, you know. We also have Cameron Street left a message on episode 13, which is the David Page episode, talking about a company in Australia that has similar products to that. Those Aussies always get cool stuff down there. And he also guessed on episode 16 if the engine noise was Blake Wilkie's buggy, which it was not, but good guess. Sorry to disappoint you. And of course, we really appreciate any kind of input. So if you got yourself a new phone recently, or you haven't gone to Apple or Spotify to leave a note or a review, a comment, please go ahead and do that. We really appreciate it. All right, before we go, why don't we check in and see what's been going on in the Podshed Insiders.
Join the Podshed Insiders. Why not? We're having fun with all that's being said, hooting and hollering in the online shed. We're having fun, talking trucks, and other totally rad and random stuff. No matter where you are, hang out in Holman's backyard. Join the Podshed Insiders, why not?
That's right. Head on over to Facebook, and if you have not joined the 350 of us that are having fun in the Podshed Insiders, please join up. Again, that's on Facebook, the Podshed Insiders. It's a private group, so I have to approve you, but you'll see Lightning lurking around in there, and some other people on the show, Dave Graham, who helps me out with the socials in there, and some of the regulars, people who message or call on the 5-star hotline. You'll definitely recognize some names in there. So this week, it's been pretty busy. Ryan Evans gave his take on the Ram when we talked about the Have You Heard and what engine's coming to the Ram 1500. He talks about what he thinks, and if you know what Ryan used to do at Stellantis, he's got some background. He's not there anymore, so perhaps he's just surmising. He doesn't have any exact information, but it's worth a read. Our buddy Rich Holdaway, who longtime friend of the show, helped build the Podshed. He sent a picture of his fleet of trucks for his construction company. Nick Lawn trying to mix it up in there, talking about how Dr. Pepper is distributed by itself, but in places where it doesn't have a bottler, it uses Coke or Pepsi. And did you know the plastic bottles were different depending on which bottler it uses? So that's in there. I appreciate the Dr. Pepper comment. I teased you guys with a photo of a Ram SRT 10 following me home, which is, you guys, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you know my affinity for that particular truck. And we got Zig Srig talking about getting his OVR in the mail, so I appreciate all the crossover, which is our listeners who have joined up and subscribed to OVR Magazine. That means a lot to me, and also helps me out on some of my other businesses. And normally I post whenever an episode goes live, and it's funny to see the first person to download because I can see who downloads, and a lot of times that person is posting Podshed Insider first, just got it. So anyway, awesome to see you guys in there. There's some comments on DC and other stuff, but it's been pretty lively. Again, we're just under 350 members, and there is so much cool stuff in here, and I have to approve you guys. If for some reason you have tried to get in and you didn't get approved, just shoot me an email and I'll get that taken care of. But we just want real people in there, real enthusiasts, and we want you guys having a good time and having some great discussion. You'll want to be there too. I'm planning probably in April of doing another listener podcast where we all hop on Zoom and we can just have a nice dialogue and maybe a Friday night drink and gab type of a thing. But I'm going to put the information in the Podshed Insider, so that's the only way you're going to get it. So if you aren't in there, you definitely want to get in there. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. And I hope you really enjoyed the Mint content because I enjoyed creating that for you guys and going out there. Don't forget to follow us on socials at Truck Show Podcast across the socials. And we want more 5-star hotline. Call 657-205-6105.
show, the truck show, the truck show.
We've got a ton of events up, and I'm apologizing here because there's a few people who sent me events, but they came up really quick in March, and I didn't get them up in time. But my daughter's working on that, so there's a ton of stuff up there. I think once a month we'll go through and I'll kind of remind you guys to go to truckshowpodcast.com, check out events. If you have something in your area, I don't care if it's a one and done or a normal cars and coffee or whatever, just send me the info. If I can get it up in time and help you guys out, I want to be able to do that. Send me some Know Your Notes so we can have some fun with that. And of course, I always want your feedback. truckshowpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. How's the show going? Are you enjoying it? Do you have any input, advice, things you want different? I may or may not do it. I don't know. Sometimes you guys have bad ideas. I'm sorry. Sometimes you guys have great ideas. I wish I would have thought of it. I need you guys. So shoot me your comments. We'll take a look at those. And again, join the Podshed Insiders and have some fun in there. It's such a great group. I mean, that's starting to become a little bit of a community, and I love that started with the Truck Show podcast. So, all right, got to thank the sponsors. NissanUSA.com. Nissan has been with us since the beginning. Nissan Frontier, awesome truck. Nissan Armada, awesome SUV. If you're in the market and you need a midsize pickup truck, you need a full-size SUV, at least put the Nissans on your list. I think you'll be really surprised with what they're offering and the value too. Man, there's so much tech. They're so loaded for the price. Go check them out. Go to your local Nissan dealership. AMSOIL.com, the leader in synthetics. They offer the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Of course, you can go by the Shop by Vehicle tool. It'll help you select the right motor oil for your application. It'll also offer package size recommendations to make sure that you're saving the most amount of money. And it also has oil change kits for a lot of vehicles now. And that means everything you need for an oil change, including the oil, comes to your door, one box. You also get the filter, you get the gloves, you get the funnel, and you even get an AMSOIL reminder sticker. Kershaw.kai.USA. Don't forget 40% MSRP. I've been loving my Kershaw knives. I got a bunch of them that I've been messing around with, and I've been really stoked on the quality. Just a great knife overall, and you can use our discount code. And of course, there's other people offering discount codes as well. If you forgot about it, go to truckshowpodcast.com to featured products, and you'll see all of our sponsors and all of our friends that are offering deals to the Truck Show Podcast listener. And then last but not least, OVRmag.com. If you love overlanding, gear, off-roading, adventure, all that stuff, old school print magazine. You want a big, heavy magazine with thick paper, great photos, ads that don't cut into the editorial, big spreads that allow the photos to breathe. OVR Mag is what you want. I'm giving you guys free for a year access to our digital library. You can look at any magazine we've printed. We're on our third year now. There's a ton of stuff to read and look into. Free. Or if you want a subscription, I think it's 10% off. Become an OVRmag.com subscriber. Check out the website. Tell your friends about it. We're growing. It's a great product, and I really appreciate your support there. So, all right, until next time, that's it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.
All right, guys, I promised you 5 minutes of unadulterated spec TT truck action at the Mint 400. And for those of you who stuck around, this is my ride in Jason Coleman's race truck. And it is rad. Hopefully your speakers do it justice.